So I have a question for you. What happens whenever the message you carry cannot be refuted? What happens when the message you carry is so rock solid, there's nothing you can say against it? When that happens, all you can do is shoot the messenger. When that happens, all you can do is do something to the messenger so that the message that the messenger is carrying cannot get to where it's intended to go. Well, that's what we're seeing today, and that's what happened to Sarah Palin 2 years ago. Her message, along with John McCain's, was spot on. And all the Dems and the drive-by media could do, the leftist media could do, was attack Sarah. All they could do was knock her over. So they attacked her family. They attacked her governing. They attacked her personal life. They did everything they could to her in order to derail her so her message would never get out. And as a result, they knocked her over, had her spending so much time trying to deal with the accusations against her and her family personally that she was derailed. Now, it's an amazing thing, but at the end of the day, because they attacked the messenger, the message was what was absolutely hidden in the attacks on the messenger. But the one thing that's understandable today, and the Tea Party movement needs to understand this, and I think they really do. The last cycle, the left worked to try to bring down individual candidates across the country, and it was a lot of work. They had to spend a lot of money. But somewhere in the left, they came up with a new strategy. You know what's easier? Let's bring down the movement. It's easier to attack the movement than it is to attack the individual candidates that the movement is supporting. It's a lot cheaper. It's a lot less confusing. Let's just focus on the movement. That's why now they're the extremists. They're called the extremists. And the main word used against Al-Qaeda are extremists. And so if they can attach the word extremist to the Tea Partiers, then that is the issue that they'll do, and turn everybody against the Tea Party and automatically against everybody that the Tea Party supports. I don't know if many people get it, but the Tea Party, in the most recent survey, and this is now the last day of September in 2011, but the term Tea Party is now, there is a lower opinion of Tea Party than there is of atheists. Now that's pretty stinking low. So their attacks against the Tea Party are being pretty well received. And it's something that really needs to be understood if we are going to be able to put forth candidates that have a chance against the New Democrat. And if the Tea Parties the Tea Party is going to be able to put forth candidates, there are a couple things that they have to do. The first thing is they've really got to stay cool. And I know you guys, I don't pretend to preach to you, and please forgive me if it sounds like that, but I've seen some local Tea Party guys who are getting really angry, and I've even heard a couple of them cussing at some leftists, And that's just not going to work, because Tea Partiers are already being called extremists, and they're, well, you know how they're being portrayed, and that's just not going to work, because that's not who you are. And so we have to look at this from a completely different angle. You've got to stay at your roots, which is really a Christ-centered reality of really trusting God and showing the world who you really are. You can't be sidetracked by the leftist socialists who are really trying to get you riled up. They really want to see you guys throwing punches, literally throwing punches. They would love to see you guys knocking somebody in the mouth. They would really like to hear you throwing a racial slur at somebody. They would really like to see you guys spitting on somebody. And that's why I think it's cool for you to wear all the same T-shirt, or so that it's real clear who you are, so that if they plant somebody among you, then they have a leftist looking like you and they punch somebody, it's real easy to see that they aren't one of you. But you got to continue to really reflect the one who you are. Remember, the national media is looking at you, and they really, really want to discredit you with an audio bite. They really want to discredit you with a video bite that they can show the world who you really are. And I have to tell you, I have lots of friends on the left. I really do, and some of them are even family. And you know, most of them do not watch the unbiased news. And by unbiased news, I simply mean even watching several different networks so that you can get opposing points of view. You can't really study different points of view. You can't even understand different points of view so that you can really know what you believe and why you believe it. You can't even discover arguments against what you don't believe unless you know what other people believe and understand why you don't believe it. But most of my left-leaning friends don't even know why they're leaning left. They don't analyze the news, so that they don't even know why they believe what they believe. Most of their facts and most of their opinions come from Hollywood. Most of their opinions come from The View. They come from Jay Leno, from Letterman, and other deep political pundits like that. Most can't discuss the news. Most can't discuss issues. I've tried to get them to discuss issues, but they can't, because most of them don't know any facts beyond the issue titles themselves, because they haven't really studied it. All they know is that they don't agree with the conservative view. There was an interesting fact my son came home with once in the senior year of college or university. He was in a particular marketing class, and the prof was talking about how to market to certain groups of people. Excuse me. Beginning of the school year, he asked the students, how many of you consider yourselves liberal? Out of 32 students, 30 students put up their hands. And then he said, how many of you consider yourselves conservative? My son and one young lady put up their hands. And of course, they were instantly badgered and berated, even had a couple of boos. At the end of the semester, the professor says, by the way, how many of you consider yourselves liberal? 3 students put up their hand. How many of you consider yourselves conservative? The rest of the class put up their hand. Immediately, the professor went back to the beginning of the year and reminded them about that initial question. The point is, the students didn't even understand what it meant to be liberal, only that it was cool to be liberal, only that the stars in Hollywood called themselves liberal, and that most of the profs on campus called themselves liberal, so that high school or that university students, it was cool to be liberal. But when they went in depth, when they drilled down to the issues and what it meant to be liberal, they realized, heck, I'm not liberal after all. Very interesting. So for the Tea Party to do what you're doing and actually educating people on what it means to be conservatives and what kind of things they are actually teaching the people is probably one of the most powerful things you guys are doing. And to create history curriculum and social studies that deal with real history and deal with real current events, I think it is an awesome thing. The issue I think that I'm dealing with is that whatever people hear about the Tea Party is what they're going to believe. Whatever they hear from Hollywood, they're going to believe. Whatever they hear on TV, they're going to believe. And I think that what we need, what the Tea Party needs to do, and please forgive me, shut me off, slap me. I'm really not trying to tell you what to do. I just hope you succeed. I don't know if you remember moral majority. Some of you youngins maybe don't. But moral majority was ridiculed a lot back in the day. But as I studied it, and I was alive and well back then, I was one of the original real cheerleaders for Ronald Reagan. I believe, I know God used moral majority to put Ronald Reagan in the White House twice. Really was. Wonder if the Tea Party is being raised up by God to put somebody in the White House twice. I wonder. They have to be strong. And they have to be prepared. They have to know who they are and what to stay strong. And so I am ready to say this. You guys need to find among yourselves your best speakers. And you need to go church to church. You need to go club to club, Rotary, whoever will take you. Jerry Falwell was in 1 million churches. Was on the road all the time speaking on behalf of moral majority. And look, there were churches who were shut down, who lost their 501c3 during the Bill Clinton era for speaking politically in their local church. But I think it's because some of them were too namby-pamby. I think they were too tame to really fight against the system. African American churches had democratic candidates in their churches. Clinton spoke at dozens and dozens and dozens of African American churches during the campaign, and nobody said a thing. As soon as Republicans went to churches, many of them were shut down. And that, if you want to talk about racial, that was racist. That was reverse racism. And I would be willing to talk to anybody and his brother about that right now, about that reverse racism. because that's exactly what it is. By the way, right now I'm supporting Herman Cain for president, because right now he's the best candidate we have up there. And I'm willing to change that if somebody else comes up and can do what he is doing. But I really recommend that you guys repost this. You can take this video, show it to anybody, and if you don't like it, shut it off. Don't show it to anybody. But you guys can email me, Facebook private message me, send me questions. You can contact me however you can, and I'm willing to ask questions. But you guys need to do what Jerry Falwell did. Find among yourselves your most eloquent speakers and get into speakers bureaus and allow yourselves to go out, whoever will have you, and tell the country who you really are, so that this nation can understand who the Tea Party really is. Get on radio stations, get on TV stations, call your friends, try to get on Fox and other stations who will support you, so the nation knows that the Tea Party is not what the left newspapers and the drive-by left networks who are telling lies about you, that you aren't who they say you are. And get this video out so others can be encouraged that you are carrying a message that can't be fought against. And the only weapon they have is the personal attacks against you. You've got a message that can't be defeated, so you've got to stay strong and don't let them defeat you. God bless you.